welcome to the first ever episode of Pioneers in Leadership, a show whereby we just have a seat and have a very interesting conversation with student leaders within the University of the Free State, and of course understanding the deeper perspective of student leadership within the space. My name is Oviyo Jacobs and I'm the Prime of House Armentum, and of course I am not sitting alone. I have my partner in media assisting me to unpick this very interesting conversation.
It is your boy Joven K, RC Media and Marketing, and as my co-host has alluded, today we are doing a deeper perspective into leadership, getting to know more of what you don't know behind the scenes, what happens when you're in the rooms and all that.
And in the first conversation of Pioneers in Leadership, we're in conversation with one man that I believe that in the University of the Free State, he really needs no introduction. Either you've seen him in a Facebook post, or you've seen him somewhere being said something, or in a poster somewhere around campus. A man that has really lived his full SRC term. I mean, the former ISRC president of the University of the Free State, the one and the only. A man that was once a sports blesser and became the president. And today, on the first ever episode of this show, we have the privilege and the honor to be sitting with the one and the only Mr. Bababa, sports blesser. Sports blesser, the one and the only. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the first episode of Pioneers in Leadership is Mr. Katleho Lechoo. How are you, sir?
Thank you so much. I'm good. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I feel honored also to be in the midst of leadership. Thank you so much for the time and the invitation. Thank you so much. I'm good. I'm bouncing like a tennis ball. And I'm flying very high like an eagle.
That's really what we want to hear after an SRC term.
Right. Mr. President, I'm looking at you and I'm remembering our moments. Yeah, when we caused, those days, but this is for the record. So, Mr. President, tell us about, where you come from, your historical background. We know you as Blesser, but we don't know where does the name come from, just, where you are, who you are in a nutshell, actually.
Yes. No, thank you very much. Of course, my name is Katleho Lechoo from the Dusty Streets. It's a very small place in, the outskirts of Kroonstad, called Viljoenskroon, just outside Kroonstad. It's a very small place, but I believe that, it has brought and raised, strong men and women that, thank you so much, that today we can look up to. I myself as an individual, there are also people that, for the first time, I think there are two people that, completed their PhDs. And I think it's, it's a wonderful thing to come out of that, I started my primary education at one of the local public schools, and then went to study, went to school and stayed with my grandmother, and then I came back, and I missed my mom so much that I wanted to come back mid-year, and then they said go back home, and I went to a rural school, a farm school, where I completed my grade 7, and then I went to boarding school. Because I was very naughty, so my mom wanted to keep me out of the streets, So she took me out in grade 9, and then I went to a boarding school, did my grade 10 to 12. And I was fortunate enough to be the deputy head boy. I think this leadership thing has always been there. And it's not, I was a very ambitious person, I still am, a very ambitious person. Someone that, people don't like doing it, but I do it. I forced myself in, and I think that's one of the reasons why today I'm invited here. Because if it was not because of that background, I would not have been here. So, like I said, it's an honor and privilege that today you've identified me as one of the people to, kickstart the program. And I wish you all the best with your ongoing sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, President. Taking it back now to Viljoenskroon, growing up, let's say you're a deputy head boy there in primary. I was also head boy in primary, so I understand when you say the student leadership thing goes way back. Yes. Have you ever in your wildest dreams back then think that you would one day account to 40,000 students?
I wanted to do teaching. I wanted to study education. And unfortunately, being a deputy head boy, I was a deputy head boy in grade 12. A deputy head boy in grade 12. Well, of course, in primary I was a prefect, and then went on, In secondary, also became a prefect and then deputy head boy. So in grade 12, I was very playful. So unfortunately, I missed, that bachelor's entry. So and then I was forced to go and upgrade and do the UPP. It was UPP back then in 2014.
No, I wouldn't know because I'm a tutor one.
Yes. So I was forced to go and upgrade. And then I wanted to do teaching. And then he said, no, you'll do teaching. When I came to the main campus, because I was doing it at a satellite branch of the university, I said, no, you must do teaching for 5 years. I said, no, you're mad. And then, someone who was a teacher from back home advised me. I said, no, go do your humanities, whatever that you want to do in your humanities, and continue. And, in that 5 years, you would have started teaching. You can easily walk away with 2 qualifications, which is something that's happening now. So, and then it led me to studying politics, governance and political transformation. And then I did my postgrad in theology. So I didn't think, because I wanted to be a teacher, because my uncle is a teacher, my grand was a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher, have money, and when you grow up, these things. And so yeah, I honestly didn't know, didn't think about it, but it didn't come as a shock because wow, everyone knew me. So yes.
Just take us through the process, as you saying that you never knew, you never saw it coming.
Yeah.
But then like the process of running for presidency, how was it? Because normally there's like drama all the time.
Yeah.
When there's elections and all of those things. So just take us through your experience. How was it?
No, definitely there is drama. I mean, drama is everywhere. In relationships, people that are single like me. But to be serious now, drama is everywhere. I remember I came here to the main campus in 2016, after upgrading. And then when I got here, already man, you could see that ambition. This person wants to do everything that's presented to him. From being a residence coach, from being a member of the, KOFC Soccer League, chairing the committee. So in 2017, I then ran for SRC. I lost. And my heart was sore. So I ran for SRC, and then I lost. And then later, the following year, I then ran again, and I got it.
You never gave up.
Yeah, that spirit of not giving up, so I never gave up. And then I ran, I got it. And then, a lot of things happened that year. The KOFC soccer, the KOFC soccer team qualified to play in the varsity football after 4 years. It happened during my term. The netball ladies won, so I was there. Hockey, they went to the semi-finals. Rugby went to the semi-final. So these things were happening, and I was also at the forefront. So now people are starting to see my face. People are starting to shout, "Yeah, sports players," because I called myself sports players. And they liked me because I was blessing them.
Yeah.
So at that point then it was obvious that
And the momentum built up.
yes, everyone knows you, white and black, and it's a privilege when white people know you. I'm referring to the students because one thing I like about them, when they vote and they make sure. And that's one of the things that contributed to me winning SRC president, because of the support that I got from them, from rugby and all the sporting codes. And I'm forever grateful, you understand, to all people that voted, black and white. Taking our university into consideration, the demographics and all that. So for me, it was an obvious one, and prayer there and there, but that assurance that, man, sports players, everyone was shouting your name, despite the discredit that was coming, but I knew it, Pagati inside, as Michael would say, Singapezur, I was there, I was at the top. So for me, I think, and I'm not blowing my own horn, but I think building up to the elections, I already knew it was just a matter of of making it official and the margin, the margin that I'm going to win with. But all in all, it was a good one. It molded us as people. And luckily enough, I was in the SRC before, so I knew what to expect as an incoming president. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you are now this sports blesser that became Blesser the President.
Yeah.
You are now in office, and everyone now knows you. Every student knows you because every student, when they cry to a SRC president.
Yeah.
And I really don't know why students do this, that they really have a tendency of disregarding what are the SRC. You are the face of the SRC.
Yeah.
And everyone and every day, they want to see Blesser. And everyone, every day, they want to make sure that Blesser solves their problems.
Yeah.
But who checks up then on Blesser the President? Who checks up then on is Blesser eating? Who checks up on is Blesser's mental health okay? Because before Blesser is a student, before Blesser is an SRC president, before Blesser is everything, Blesser is human. So whoever ever sits down and checks up on the president when every student has left and every student problem is solved.
Yeah, I mean, I look back and finally I can say some of the things that I could not say then or show, But there was a time, I think it occurred 3 times, if not 4, in a period of 2 months post COVID-19. Now the smooth returning of students. I wanted to resign.
Plus, it's standing there.
You understand? Yeah, because now you are coming at a time where we're learning online. Not everyone has a laptop. And you are right, people will contact you, family members, parents, guardians, students, and they go as far as swearing at you, on social media. There's this group on Facebook, UFS COFC students. I only joined that group after my SRC term. People would take screenshots, and send it to me.
So every time everything was said, that group, you were not there.
I was not there because I was protecting myself. And now I see it now. It's evident, it was happening. I study, and some of them I laugh because they happened to me. So coming to the question, who checks up on you? And I will forever cherish the people that I met. There's a lady, she left the university, Dr. Melissa, from Student Counseling and Development, A.Bit. The former dean is in Cape Town now, Pura Mkholomban. So they enforced a routine of going for counseling as student leaders. But I believed that those things are for the weak. So I think there were about 3 sessions organized, and I only attended 1 because I'm not weak myself.
Yeah.
But when you are alone, it hits you, man. It hits you. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't know if the salary changes. We got 4,000 per month. You went. Yes. Yes, it was a lot there. Yes. So you ask yourself, is it worth it? If it was in the SRC of 2015 or 2014, they were getting money on their student cards. But you ask, for 4,000, is it worth the swearing that I'm getting from students? The change of words from students, is it worth it? So, student counseling, I think Dr. Melissa played a vital role. When I had infights, students, I said, but we drink coffee and we forget about the problems. And you move on. You take a day as it comes. So I think that's what I did. To be honest, I'm a lazy worker, man. I prefer working under pressure.
Yeah.
So I was not preparing for tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, I take tomorrow as it comes. And I think that's what, because if you prepare and there's one thing that bothers you, it disturbs the whole process. So I took a day as it comes. Say, okay, today there's a council meeting. Well, of course, you have to browse through documents and all that. But if you come to terms with, having to strike, you wake up at 7, because anything can happen between 12 a.m. and 7 a.m. That would change. I remember there was a time when we said we're shutting down. We said we're shutting down at 10. We changed the time to 7. So a lot can happen. So I prepared, and I think that's also what played, an important part in how I took out my responsibilities as a president. Yeah.
But then now, like as you just mentioned, now that you're getting a lot of things from students, exchange of words and whatever. At some point, were you not tempted to maybe say something back, or you were emotionally intelligent to that point where you knew how to act and how to conduct yourself, when speaking to students and when you were in office and you were as the president at that time?
And there were times where I was very personal. And I will tell you now, there are people that I'm still angry at for some of the things that they did because of cloud. They wanted to be seen, When you are dealing with students, you are dealing with a very important aspect of a university. So you must be careful, it goes both ways, as a student leader and as an SRC member. So there are people that I'm still angry at, for the things that they said to me in front of students. People that you would expect, hey, chief, we know these things. They know the environment, how toxic it is. And, these are some of the people that you shared information with. They were a shoulder to cry on, but they tell you those things and they bring them to the student. But how? But, you understand? So there was a time where I lost it, but I can't show because immediately you give them that opportunity, it's going to be an everyday thing. So sometimes, there were things like, though I kept on laughing, man. I remember the graduation, the online graduation part. It was the first time happening, and it happened during our term.
Yeah.
And then I was on Twitter. I think I deactivated Twitter 3 times or 2, if not mistaken. There was a time when a student said, I blame it on you. But I was like, it's level 4 and there's nothing you can do. You understand? So I look at that tweet and I laugh, And funny enough, it's someone that I know. It's someone that has my numbers on WhatsApp. You understand? So it's those situations that, but you ask yourself, but are these people sharp here? And then, man, this other person, we're having a meeting. We called everyone, student leaders to be exact. And this person comes and say, hey, but I own you. I voted for you. I own you. So you laugh, when you're in that environment, and you say, but what happened to your... So you laugh about it. And what agitates the environment is that you are calm and you are relaxed. So they are waiting for you to burst, but you're not giving them that opportunity, for them to, to roll over you. And I think that's one of the things that, you must be prepared. Like I said, I was fortunate enough to be in the SRC before. So you anticipate these things and they come with the title, the responsibility. And before I assumed office, I was fortunate enough to meet the past, the previous, 4 previous SRC presidents under SASC, and they gave me in depth what to expect and not to expect in the SRC, and I think it's one of the things that also played a part. Yeah.
And President, in one thing that you were mentioning, you kept on mentioning the involvement of student leaders a lot, especially within the University of the Free State. And I think we are one university that our dynamics in terms of student leadership are a little bit complex, and they need a student leader to understand them. But I want you to analyze student leaders within the University of the Free State, irrespective of political background, irrespective of if they're in residence leadership or not, a person that considers themselves a student leader within their space. Do you think that as student leaders, we are really pushing the mandate, firstly, which is students, or we push our own mandates, covering it up with students? And one thing I love is that you're going to give a very honest opinion, because you are really at the exit door of student leadership. And if you're not, I'm telling you now, please leave student leadership.
Yes. No, I'm out, totally out. The last day when I handed over the keys, that's when I said, I'm done. Even with the organization that I belong to during my time, I said, I don't even want to hear or have something that would remind me of that, because it's not an easy space, man. It's not something to just walk over, because even internal, it defeats you when you have this internal fight, and I think that's what kills you more than what you get outside. But I will give you a scenario, man, just to answer your question. You have people that you're right. You have people that make up their careers out of student politics. Completely, they don't have any interest at heart. It's about what am I going to be. I mean, life is very hard. I know it. The first month after my term was very difficult, and I don't want to, besides the 4,000, and I don't want to go into depth because it was a very emotional, encounter. So it was very hard, man. You have people that, from what I saw, the meetings that I had with different people, you had people that were hungry and thirsty to serve, and then you had amongst that group people that really wanted to make a name for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that, but at all times you must be cautious of the after effects of that, because they're very severe. I would tell you, if I can't help you, I would tell you, I can't do it. It's out of my hand. There was nothing I could do with the online graduation. So I told them, but you have people that would promise you, even when you see your chief, it's not going to happen. You will graduate on campus. It's a year later, you still can't because of COVID. And it's not only the University of the Free State. I mean, vets had the same problem. When Miss SA went, and walked the stage, and people were questioning it. So what I'm trying to say is, we are not different from other institutions. So you have student leaders, colleagues, that they want to make a name for themselves at the expense of the student. And oftentimes, those people don't go anywhere in life. It's the genuine people that, I'm not saying I'm somewhere in life, but I'm saying it's the genuine people that, I love people that, are studying. It's the genuine people that always make it out. And, they can tap themselves on the shoulder and say, I did it. I don't regret being an SRC president. Because if I was there for the name and, for the title and the after contacts, I would have been very far. I would be driving Mercedes Benz now. I would still fly today if I was making a name for myself, because you are exposed to a lot of things, So just to keep I know I talk a lot, man. Just to keep your question and response short, it's very bad. The environment is very bad, and you never get used to it. You come in and you go. That's what makes it easier is coming with a purpose and living before people forget you. You don't want to be forgotten in the space, because it happens. That he was a former president, but he's still there. He's still doing with you. And the respect that you got then, it's no longer the same. You understand? So, and those are the people that they have not yet made it, and they still want to make it, because their purpose of making a name for themselves is not yet accomplished. So and I think going forward, people will reconsider, and the manner in which we vote. I'm not saying there's a problem, but I'm just saying the people that we vote for, and the manner that we vote for. Because I can tell you now, politics of the face and the smile, it's very dangerous. It can work for you, but sometimes it's it's very sad, and you are left to deal with the consequences. Yeah.
Alright, this conversation has been very tense. Mr. President, I'm gonna try and just lighten the mood, ne? So I'm just gonna play a short game, just to get to know more of you, right? So this game is called This and That. I'm laughing because there's a background story to that, but yeah. So I'm gonna give you two options, ne? And then you're gonna choose one over the other, but you can't choose like both of them, right? So the first question I want.
But now the trick is you have to go very fast. You can't think.
You have to do like
fast is my middle name.
So money or alcohol?
Money.
Okay. Your friends or your phone?
My phone, chief.
Phone. Okay, your friends are gonna see this.
I have a phone. because I can get hold of my friends.
Okay. Being successful, ne, and having problems, and being poor and living a happy life.
Being successful and having problems. And I can tell you why. If you give me that, that opportunity to tell you why, I can tell you why.
Please do elaborate.
If I'm poor, what am I going to eat? If I'm poor, I'm not going to eat my nice life, moody. I must eat.
So you'd rather be crying in a mansion.
Thank you so much. Alone.
If you're not happy at that time, then what is the point? Because do you think that? Because now what I'm getting from you is that you can be happy, not be miserable under financial status and whatever. So you'd rather have that and not live a happy life.
If you were asking this question 10 years back, I would give you a different response. But the way and the pace in which the world is moving in, it forces you to look at money as something that you can't survive without. I mean, you understand. So there are things that you last for, in life. There are things that you want in life. No matter how sad you are. I mean, you have some part of their life is not okay, and but because of what we have at that time, money makes people happy. So I think I'm still choosing money, and being miserable and over being poor and living a happy life, because sometimes at times you need to wear clothes, and you can agree with men, you don't just you must leave a mark when you clothe. So but to keep it short, I'm yeah.
All right, so President, wrapping up, you've lived your full circle of presidency, overseeing the 3 campuses. You have had your ups within the university space. I think you also have had your downs, because also a part of your term was cut short because of COVID-19. Everything is done now. I mean, it's like 9 to 10 months post your term. When you look back, and I ask this question from the genuineness of your heart.
Yeah.
And it's so good that you said you are out now of student leadership. Everything is out. From being the chairperson at soccer, to being SRC Sports, to being president, deputy head boy even, was it all worth it?
It was.
Every single day of it.
It was. It gave me purpose. In sports, there were things that I was looking forward to. Talk about sports, man. When I was SRC Sports, I had one of the most incredible terms. For the first time ever, we had what we call a sports colloquium at the university. That's never happened before, and I'm saying it has never happened before in my existence. I'm not talking about 1904 when the university was, first established, 1910 there, But in your 90s and your 80s, I was fortunate enough to have a conversation with the SRC president of 1986. So, that memory lane, what happened post his term and pre his term. So I'm saying it never happened because I know, the consultations, and it gave me purpose. And it besides the content, I have met wonderful people that, motivated me, still do. People that, gave me a meaning of life, shaped how I see life, gave me an opportunity, So it was worth it. And, to keep it short, it gave me an opportunity to, to learn, and to unlearn and relearn. Because life is an occurrence. Life does not stop. Time moves. So with that, waking up, resigning, at some point I would consult about 5 people. I said, Chief, I'm leaving now. And then, my mom did not give me money. So those things, they would come into play. I said, Chief, I'm going to get money now. Let me just,
where's the pocket?
let me just be patient. It's almost over.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 months left. I said, it's almost over. So I woke up and I went to bed. I never had, sleeping problems. Students that gave me calling. My phone was off. If I don't want to respond to you, I blue tick you. To date, I still have 600 and something messages, and I know some of them is the student that I did not respond to because of the contents of the messages. So if you focus on that, then you won't gain anything. So I'm saying it was worth it, and I will forever be grateful to God, to the people, to the students of the University of the Free State. Because if it was not for them, I wouldn't be here today. I remember, and I always joke about this, that I did not know how to speak English. But when I left the system, chief, even my mom now, my mom is having tough times at home. So because of the opportunity, and grabbed it with both hands, and I never looked back. I never said, my mom is a single parent, she works at the mine. I never looked at those things. I said, I might not be successful academic-wise, but I'm grateful for the two qualifications that I have now. But I know, though people would say, people will never be full. People will never be, So whether you do good or you do bad, people will always have remarks, something to say. So be that as it may, there are people that I look back now and said, hey, Chief, you helped me. I was on the verge of losing hope, but you brought that back. So it was worth it, man. And, I'm grateful. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't mean to make you guys
No.
feel overwhelmed.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my other ear was active. So I wish I was blocked.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the conversation was very fruitful. There was a lot of content to be grasped. Yeah, so we didn't take it lightly.
Yeah, and really one thing that I'm really appreciative of is that I think everyone that is watching this right now gets to understand that after every student has called, after everything has happened, an SRC president is still human before everything else. They also go through the very same human emotions that everyone goes through. And some of them make it alive, some of them do not. But we really, really are appreciative that from the beginning till the end, you stood for the students of the University of the Free State. And in the midst of the slanderous remarks, people speaking, you really kept your front. And really the books of history are not left blank. And we are really appreciative of the work you've done within the University of the Free State. Now in closing, President, the space right now in the university is very tough among student leaders because we are arriving during those times, of SRC elections.
Yes.
I mean, contestation is everywhere, like,
Of course. Yeah.
I just, looking at the current space with student leaders, what word do you have for the current student leaders within the space, both young and those that are really still there that needs to leave the space? And how do you see the student leadership vicinity within the University of the Free State being like in years to come? And do you still think that activism will also even still be a thing? I'm looking into the future.
Yeah.
Now that people like you are leaving the system.
Yeah. People like us have left. I must emphasize that. So, to people that are still there, who needs to leave? Leave. And give the young ones an opportunity. They must leave. No, they must leave. Leave. There's life after SRC. And there's life after being a student leader. And I don't say this out of disrespect. I'm saying it because I was exposed to that. There's life after that. So leave and make way. Because I do not want to be an SRC member that is being reminded of someone that was there 4 years back and say, he led this way. I want to be in a position, expose myself to what is there and learn from that. And that's what I did. So leave and give the young ones an opportunity. And to the young ones that are given an opportunity, grab it with both hands. Never look back. And remember why you're doing it. It's not for the blazer. The blazer is powerful. The power of blazer.
Yeah, no.
People kept on saying that. I saw it happening. I remember, after our term ended, Vusi wore his blazer every day because he wanted to be known that SRC is in charge. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
Do it. But, also serve. To the young ones that are there, you know, the SRC that is there now, it's not easy. But they must remember why they're doing it. You know, the divisions, you know, they are everywhere. You know, at church, you know, they are everywhere. So do not, you know, despise the opportunity and the moment. It's for you to learn. You know, and it's all, everything's happening for a reason. So 5-10 years now, there won't be any political organizations at the university because of the crop, the participating crop. There's no interest there. You know, they call them 2000s. They have lost interest because no one came and actually gave them that briefing to say SASCO is different to politics of the ANC. EFFS is different to the politics of the EFF national. So if Malema swears parliament, the chairperson of EFFSC is not going to swear in student parliament. So what they see being presented nationally is what they are taking now and putting it, you know, at institutions of higher learning, which is something that is totally different. So with how the political sphere now nationally is, and how, you know, brutal, how hectic, how toxic it is, you know, even our parents are losing interest. They don't want to vote anymore. So that whole thing is going to be fed to the incoming crop, and they've totally lost interest. You know, you would call a meeting last year. You call a meeting and say there's a shutdown. You know, expect about 500, you know, about 50 comes. So it's evident that slowly, but you know, they're losing interest. So I don't see them having that. I don't want to lie. Maybe something will happen, but 5 years from now, 5 to 10, it won't be there. We've completely forgotten about the history that was done by, you know, people that came before us, people that, you know, took from us. Yeah.
But I think, you know, one thing that I really appreciate is that 5 to 10 years from now, people will still be speaking about Bless. I will say, and then we once had a president that did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is literally one of the greatest pleasures that you can ever get for being a servant to people. And once again, thank you very much, President, for having this conversation with us. I believe that the University of the Free State students really captured something. Student leaders within the space also really got something from this. And we wish you all the best as you've exited the system, entering into new vicinities.
Yes.
And we definitely do believe that the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's how we wrap up the first episode.
Wow, that was quite a handful, and I don't know if there was certain, but I guess that was just taking the moment.
It was really that. It was really that. But thank you very much for tuning in. Of course, do not forget to like, subscribe, and drop your comments below. Do share with us how was this very insightful conversation. And if you have any questions for Blesser, do follow me on our socials. I know that on Facebook, he once changed his name during the course of his term to confuse students. He's now Bennett Lechoo. So do follow him on Facebook. He's on Instagram. He's on Twitter. You activated your Twitter again, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's a Twitter activist now.
Yes.
All right, but that is really how we wrap up with the first ever episode of Pioneers of Leadership. Thank you very much for joining in. And with that being said, live light, love your light, be the light, and of course, do let love lead. And remember that before you die, President, make sure that you have lived. Thank you so much. Bye bye now.